Hello and welcome to this hands-on lab where we will deploy our CRUD application on a fleet of EC2 instances backed by ASG, traffic distributed by ALB. Yes, all this we have already done. But this time we will do the deployment with a custom deployment configuration. And let us see how this goes. First, let us make the changes. So let us make it, okay, changed color of index.js, and let us change color of about.js as well. Okay. Okay, great. And let us save both the files. And we know that this is going to be, yep, so these are unstaged now. And git add. By now I'm sure these commands are like so etched in your memory that you won't be able to forget them. Git commit. The message is changed index and about color. Okay. And then git push. And let us do a new build with the latest code. Build project. Okay. Start build. And then it should be available here. And after we copy the URI, we will move on to deployment. And that is where we will see how deployment configuration, not the one that is readily available by code deployment service, code deploy service rather. Let us create a custom one this time. And what is, okay, before we talk about it, yes, it is picking up the latest code. We can confirm this by the message here, start build. And what is the deployment configuration? So we have 10 EC2 instances and we want to deploy the latest application revision on 3 instances at one time, so that at any point in time 7 instances are available. So deployment configurations give us an option to select as to how many instances servers will go through deployment and how many will always be available to serve the traffic. That is what it means. And as soon as this is successful, we will just create a custom deployment configuration and then proceed. So looks like this is good. Yep, completed. Refresh it. Public. And there we go. Copy it. And let us move towards deploy, code deploy. Application. This is the application, and the deployment group is where we have ASG as well as ALB. And let us do some editing first. Or we can override this. Let us see how we can override this. Okay, first of all, let us mention that it is a zip and this is the location. And deployment group overrides. Code deploy default one at a time, half at a time, all at once. Okay. So I believe we need to create more EC2 instances to be able to create custom deployment configuration. Let us go to, auto scaling group, and let us make it 4. Okay. So it will add 2 more EC2 instances. And I will pause the video so that these instances are ready with the latest application revision, and then we will do the deployment with custom deployment configuration. And yes, now the latest application revision will be deployed on these 2 EC2 instances. Or not. We can verify that. Probably not. We'll see that. So now the 2 EC2 instances are also in service. Let us check if they have. Yes. So this is a shortcut to blue-green deployment. You can see that, right? You just increase the number of EC2 instances and they have the latest version. That's great. Good. And these are 4 IP addresses that you can see here. Okay. This was the previous version, new version, previous version. And what is about? Previous, new. Okay. Good. We are good with this. And let us see how Codedeploy can handle this. All right. Create deployment configuration. Because what we want to do is, now we have 4 EC2 instances and we want the deployment to install the latest revision on 3 EC2 instances. Or let's see what all options we have. Create deployment configuration. Okay. Let us give it a name. New one. Minimum healthy hosts. Specify the minimum number or percentage of healthy Amazon EC2 instances that must be available at any time during the deployment. So let us go by number. Out of 4, if I say that at any point in time I want 1 EC2 instance to be available, let us say 1. If we say 2, then the deployment will happen on 2 EC2 instances in one go and the 2 in another go. Let us see what happens when we select the value 1 and try think in your mind, what will happen? Will it deploy on 1 EC2 instance at a time, 2 EC2 instance at a time, or 3 EC2 instance at a time? Because in all these scenarios, the minimum healthy hosts is going to be 1, right? Let us see the behavior. Create deployment configuration. New one. And create deployment. So when you know the concepts, when you know inside out, that is when you start playing with things. And that is when they become more interesting, right? Okay. So it took 3 at a time, right? So this was the trick that we had to use if we wanted to select a batch size of deployment of 3. Now the block traffic has started, which means that target group will start deregistering EC2 instances. And it will go through the whole process that we have gone through. Okay. All right. And as you can see, I forgot to point out, only 3 are deregistering. 1 is healthy. It means this is going to still serve. And you can see that. 111 is 1. This is where it is still serving the HTTP requests. Great. This is amazing. And yep. So it will take its own sweet time, block traffic and all the other. So it is like before block, after block. You know this by now, right? Application stop, download bundle. So this is where application will be deployed, and then this will start wherein the traffic will be resumed on these three EC2 instances. And then it will start on this one. The deployment will start on this one. And this time, 3 EC2 instances will be available. Okay? Great. So now, target registration is in process, and these 3 are available. And now, this will start deregistering. Let us see that. Okay? So allow traffic is happening. As soon as this is done, this is the one that will be deregistered. Now the application is available in its full capacity at this point in time. And it has, so on the 2 old EC2 instances, now the new application revision has been deployed. On 3, not on 2, on 3. And the one that was left behind, it already had the new one. So on all these EC2 instances, you have the latest application revision. Great. Let us wait it out till the time it completes the deployment. Okay. So now the 4th EC2 instance is getting deregistered. This means this is where the deployment will now start. Yep, it has started block traffic. Great. Now we need to wait for the time that this deployment completes, and then we will just test the ALB endpoint for API creation, and then we will be good. Not API creation, but testing APIs. Okay. So now the deployment is okay. It is successful, and we can check the target group. All the 4 EC2 instances are registered, and this application load balancer endpoint is serving to all these 4 EC2 instances. And I believe this is the one that is ALB-CD updated with our Postman. Let us check that. Yeah, ALB-CD. Okay. So if you want to fire away your APIs, go ahead. And you would not know, it says request resource not found. Looks like table creation is still in process. Let's do that once again. Yeah, table creation was in process, and we were quick to insert data. Read, update, delete item, and then delete table. So this completes our deployment with a custom deployment configuration. We also learned something which was sort of a, I don't think it is documented. So we learned that if there's a new application revision available and we have auto scaling group, then if we increase the number of EC2 instances in the auto scaling group, then the new EC2 instances that are getting deployed by the auto scaling group will have the latest revision of application package. Yeah. Okay, thank you, and looking forward to seeing you in the next session.